Gary in West Hampton, if the Jets acquired Aaron Rodgers, what would you consider a success? Okay. First of all, they have to get 3 years out of Aaron Rodgers. If they don't, this whole experience in terms of what they're going to have to do financially, what they're going to have to do in terms of payment for him. And I think Green Bay is not going to be cheap. I know a lot of people think Green Bay is going to cave and give him away. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Not for Rodgers. So I think the payment's going to be pretty high. And if that's the case, you got to get multiple years out of him. I'd say 3 years. And I think you have to be serious contenders for two of them. And that means have a legitimate chance to win the whole thing. And I think they do. I think if you put Aaron Rodgers on that team and they get healthy at running back and they put another guy at wide receiver behind Wilson and they buff up the offensive line, I think they have a chance for their defense to be a serious, serious contender. And I am 100% for Rodgers. I think the Jets get Rodgers. And I know Woody Stevens loves big quarterbacks. He wanted Favre. He wants Rodgers. I know. I don't even listen. Woody Stevens and I have never had Woody Johnson and I have never had a relationship. But I know Woody Johnson wants quarterbacks. He wants star quarterbacks. I know how he feels about quarterbacks. And the bottom line is he wanted Favre and he wants Rodgers in the worst way. And I think there's a very good chance they get him. But I think if they get him, I think the Jets are going to be the biggest story in football. I think it is a perfect match right now. And I'm all for him wearing 12 because I think you can almost draw a synergy from Joe, the great star, taking the Jets all the way, Super Bowl III. And now this great star wearing the same number 50 years later comes and tries to lead them to the promised land. You know what? I like it. I like it a lot. And I think he will be a big, big star. Meaning that he's already a big star, but I think he's going to get an incredible amount of attention. I think the Jets are going to be a team that everyone sees everywhere and talks about everywhere, and their games are going to be talked about, and they're going to be featured, and they're going to be in prime time, and everything is going to be Jets, Jets, Jets if they get Rodgers. I think it is right player, right time, right team. I think it's the move. I'll be very disappointed if they don't get it because this is a chance to really have something that is going to be extremely exciting. Listen, no matter what you think of Rodgers and how strange he is and the weird things he does and his very self-centered approach to things and everything else, the bottom line is he's one of the most gifted quarterbacks who has ever played the game. That's not debatable. Physically, he is, in my mind, the best player. If you check every box, he is physically the best player, I think, in the history of the sport at the position. I didn't say he's the winningest. He hasn't been great in the postseason. He hasn't been a great leader. They haven't won enough, okay? But I think he is the most gifted player, if you count everything, at the position I've ever seen. And that's an incredible compliment. And he is a weirdo. Let's be honest. He's out there. But you can live with that with the amount of talent he has. There's no debating how good he is. And he hasn't lost his fastball. If you watched their games last year, okay, and I watch everybody, and you see plenty of Packers, okay? I see plenty of Packers. Everybody does. Anyone who's a serious football watcher sees plenty of Packers. And he put the ball on the dime. Now, I saw him do some things in the red zone last year out of frustration I've never seen him do before. And he was very down on the team, and it showed. But there were so many times where he threw the ball on a dime and it was dropped. or the guy ran the wrong route, or the guy didn't fight the defender for the ball, or this and that and this and that. And, hey, it all adds up. Rodgers and the Jets is a perfect marriage right now. Love it. Hope it happens. In the worst way, I hope it happens. We will see you Sunday night. Remember, Selection Sunday, some Knicks, whatever else is going on. Have a good week.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.